In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lived a young woman named Clara. She was known for her gentle smile and kind heart, but beneath her cheerful exterior lay a mind that was slowly unraveling. Clara had always been a dreamer, her thoughts spiraling into elaborate daydreams that often strayed from reality. However, lately, those dreams had twisted into something darker. Clara had lived in her grandmother's old Victorian home since her passing a year ago. It was a grand structure, with peeling paint and creaky floorboards. The house held an air of melancholy, a place where shadows danced in the corners and whispered secrets from the past. Clara felt a strange connection to it, yet an oppressive weight pressed upon her mind whenever she was alone. After her grandmother's death, Clara began experiencing unsettling episodes. The simplest tasks became formidable challenges. She'd forget the names of her friends, misplace objects she swore she had just seen, and sometimes she'd lose track of time. Her family urged her to seek help, but Clara was hesitant. She didn't want to seem weak, nor did she want to face the truth that shrouded her mind. One evening, as twilight crept across the sky, Clara sat in the parlor with a cup of herbal tea, staring into the flickering candlelight. The shadows seemed to elongate, forming grotesque shapes on the wall. She shut her eyes tightly, willing herself to focus. A sudden soft rustle brought her back to awareness. She opened her eyes to find an indistinct figure standing at the edge of the room. "Who's there?" Clara's voice trembled as she clutched her mug tight. The shadow didn't respond but instead drew closer, its outline shifting and twisting. Clara's heart raced, and when the figure finally spoke, its voice was a chilling whisper. "Help me, Clara." Clara recoiled, her mind racing through confusion and fear. The figure's face was obscured but held an intense familiarity that made her remember her grandmother, how she used to tell stories of spirits lingering between worlds, uneasy souls tethered to the living by a thread of memory. "Are you?" Clara hesitated. "Is this a dream? Does it feel like a dream?" The shadow retorted, stepping into the light. Clara gasped. The figure bore her own features. Dark eyes like hers glistened with a haunting knowledge, a twisted reflection of her own being. "You're me," Clara whispered, her voice barely audible. "But that's impossible, is it?" The shadow smirked, words laced with mockery. "You are losing yourself, Clara. We are becoming one, and soon, I will take over." Panic surged through Clara as the shadow moved toward her. She stumbled backward, knocking the cup from her hands. It shattered on the floor, tea pooling around the pieces like blood. "Stop, you're not real," she screamed, scrambling to her feet and racing out onto the porch. The crisp night air bit at her skin, yet she felt no relief. Her mind was a battlefield where dreams and reality wrestled for dominance, and fear pulsed through her veins with every heartbeat. As days turned into nights, her encounters with the shadow grew more intense. It whispered to her in the dark, feeding on her fears, twisting her thoughts. Clara found herself trapped in a spiral of paranoia. Voices echoed in her ears, indistinguishable yet familiar, from childhood memories now burdened with dread. "Are you taking your medication, Clara?" her concerned friends would ask, but the simple act of swallowing pills felt like acknowledging her decline. Instead, Clara retreated into her mind, fighting a war against the creature that sought to take her place. One fateful evening, an unexpected storm swept through the town. Thunder clapped like angry spirits, and lightning sliced the sky. Clara sat trembling in the dark, drawing strength from a flickering flashlight. As the wind howled, she heard the familiar whisper that sent shivers down her spine. "They've abandoned you, Clara. You're all alone now. Just let go." She pressed her palms against her ears, willing it to stop. But the voice seeped through the cracks of her resolve. "You're not afraid of the dark, are you? It's where I wait for you. Come, Clara. We will bring back the light." In a moment of desperate clarity, Clara understood. The shadow wasn't merely a figment of her imagination. It was a manifestation of her deteriorating mind and the fear she harbored. The very essence of what she could become if she relinquished control. "Not today," she cried, her voice echoing defiantly through the hall. "I'm not afraid of you." With that proclamation, Clara grabbed a candle from the mantel, thrusting it into the dark. The flame danced defiantly, illuminating the corners of the room that had been cloaked in shadows. For the first time, she faced the specter and all it represented, the isolation, the fear of forgetting, the fear of becoming her grandmother, the broken parts of herself. As the shadow writhed, the room became alive with flickering light. The whispers in her head dulled, and Clara found solace in the glow. "You'll never take me," she breathed, determination filling her with newfound strength. The figure shrieked as the light grew brighter, unraveling its form until only Clara remained, anchored in reality. Gasping for breath, she felt the weight of despair lift. It wasn't the end of her struggle, but a turning point. She'd learned that confronting the darkness within was crucial to regaining control of her life. In the days that followed, Clara decided to seek help. With each appointment, she embraced her fears, determined to rebuild herself from the fragments that once felt lost. The shadows would always linger, but she had the light on her side, a flicker of hope growing brighter in the depths of her mind. And in Willow Creek, Clara found not only a path to healing but a renewed sense of self, reclaiming the brightness of life's delicate tapestry.